Well, thank you so much for watching my videos, and thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel, Delo Live. Delo is Dero, then live. Thank you so much. Go now and now subscribing. Atanaba subscribing. Just make it a point, of course, of subscribing for the latest updates, information, exclusive interviews, and everything. So today we are back again, but still, before I let you know what we have today, coronavirus is real, man. So to make sure and to sanitize for as many times as you can. Wash your hands. Ngokozesa sabuni n'amazzi. Take out distance. Tewekwata maaso, tewekwata munyindo, tewekwata mimwa. So make it a point okubanga obeere waka bw'oba tulina nnyo by'ogenda kukola so okubanga tera twekumanga tuli steady nga tuli balamu. So like I said, nze Richard Delo and obagiyita Delo Live. This is my YouTube channel, so make sure that you subscribe. We alaba video eno osobola okubanga tera ofuna exclusive interviews every now and then. So today, like I said, we're back again, and we happen to recent wabaddeyo controversies nyingi nnyo about abantu aba living with HIV and AIDS. Abasinga tebalina nnyo buyambi nga bagamba nti hey, tetukyasobola genda maduuka, malwaliro gye twajjanga facilities, tetukyasobola kubanga tera tukola ki tubeezaawo bulamu. So today tugenda kwogerako n'omukyala. She's Mrs. Y+ 2019-2020. Tugenda kutegeera what is it all about, so kubanga tera we bring you up to speed. So we're going to talk to her and find out how she's coping up with life mu lockdown eno gye tulimu n'obulamu engeri gy'abutambuzaako. So join me as of course we talk to Esther, Mrs. Y+, to finding out how she's coping up with life. So let's go. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, today we do have Mrs. Y+ 2019-2020. So we actually gonna talk to her. Her name is Esther. Esther, we're happy to have you today.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I'm also happy to be here.
Esther, I just know Esther. What is your other names?
Okay, my name is Esther Kabashambo. Basically, I'm a Westerner.
Yeah.
Miss Y+ 2019-2020.
People who are watching you in Runyankore or in the other language, other side.
How is quarantine taking you? Yeah.
How is life?
Okay, life is not bad. Life is moving on. God is under control. Yeah.
Basically, someone is watching Esther. Who is Esther?
Okay, Esther, I'm Miss Y+ 2019-2020. I'm an area ambassador with USAID Star Southwest Project and Elizabeth Glazer Pediatric AIDS Foundation. I'm a student at University Makerere second year. Yeah, and an advocate and activist who loves people, who wants to care for lives of people living with HIV.
Okay, let's talk about Y+. What is it for someone who maybe is watching for the first time? What is it?
Okay, Y+, it's a beauty pageant for only young people living with HIV. They take young people below 24 years. They don't mind about education as long as you're living with HIV and you're ready to stand out and disclose your status and then work for other young people to be their advocate, all that. But it's basically for young people living with HIV. And those who champion or who become ambassadors, they take on the lead to advocate, to talk on behalf of other young people. Yeah.
When did you discover that you HIV positive?
Okay, it's a long story, but to cut it short, I think I was in primary 2. So I used to take myself to the hospital to pick medicine. So when I reached there, I had the
You're picking
counselor.
medicine for what?
Okay, they used to send me to the hospital to pick medicine, and they used to tell me it's asthma because I used to have
Your
cough.
parents?
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, my grandparents, not my real parents. So one
What
time
happened to your parents?
they died when I was still young. My mom died when I was 8 months, I'm told.
8 months.
Yeah. And my dad died when I was in primary 5. That was 2009. Yeah, but I discovered it when I went to the hospital, and then counselors, they were giving out psychosocial services, support, and I had them telling people, you know, this medicine is for HIV, so you have to take it daily, you can't miss. So I discovered to know that, oh, maybe I'm also taking the same medicine, so I'm living with HIV. However, it did not cost me anything because I was still young and I didn't know the impact, what would happen if I stop, or so I didn't mind much.
Did you disclose that to your friends at school? I mean, how was the situation like when you're still in school?
Okay, in school, primarily it was okay. I was in a day school. But then it became so hard in secondary because, you know, in secondary you grow up and you have many friends. You're staying in a hostel, okay, in a boarding school. And now the time to take medicine every morning and every evening, it was a bit hard. It was complicated. So friends found out and they were like, if you have this disease, you have to die. So that discouragement and people isolating you, they're discriminating you, they don't want to associate with you. But however, I was a stubborn kid in school, so I didn't mind very much. It costed me a lot, maybe in Form 3, yeah, in Form 3 actually, when people never wanted to associate me, they sent me out of all the clubs in school. It's when I discovered, oh, you know, having HIV is really a burden. It's a big problem.
So you see, why I'm asking you that question, so many young kids are watching, and many of them are living with HIV. I mean, we want to know how the situation was like during when you're still in school, because so many people face stigma. People think when you have HIV, that is the end of your life. I mean, try to elaborate more about life in school, especially when your fellow student discover that you know what, I have HIV.
Okay, why I say it was so hard is because the first friends I had to leave me. So I was all alone, but the good thing is I had cousins in the school. So those were now my friends. But whenever I could go back to the hospital, these people used to tell me, I know students at school are harassing you, they don't like you, you don't have friends, but then you have to keep strong. Okay, when I talked to my parents at home, they helped me to change to another school. But still, when I reached another school, I found some of the students I studied with in the same school had gone to the same school. So immediately, I reached in the school within 2 days. People knew.
School knew about your
Yeah,
status.
that girl came from the other school because she was positive and people were harassing her. So it was now a new game. But however, I was now tired of running, tired of telling people, stop doing this to me. It was feeling so bad, but I was telling myself, why can't you give up? Eh? But then I had many people around me that,
Giving up, what do you mean?
like, I wanted to leave school and leave medicine and maybe go and have my own life outside there. But then I had peer educators, ambassadors who were so close to me. They used to call me. They used to come to school to see me. Through my mom, they called and they told her, please don't give up. Like, at least complete senior 4. That was their wish. Complete senior 4, you can join an institution.
Yeah.
But then, as a family, okay, in our family, all children have to complete Form 6 and go to the university. So, but me, I wanted to complete Form 4 and then go. But then the good thing, by the time I completed Form 4, I was now tired of running and hiding. So I was like, what come may, I'm going to go on with life. I will stay in school though they don't like me. So what I did, whenever they could tell me you're living with HIV, I could say it's true and it's not my fault. But I can't leave because they told me if we take medicine, you can stay on. So with that small, I cannot call it because it was so small, the courage I had. But then I got some other few friends who understood me and they started fighting for me now. Telling students, you know, it's not good to harass that girl. First of all, she's wise, she's clever, you guys, you need her in class. But then you are making her feel uncomfortable. So the few friends helped me to get that courage to move on in school. But to be honest, it was not easy. That was just a struggle. I could even not imagine one day completing senior 4.
I know. You see, in school, there's a lot of so many things happening.
Yeah.
There's a lot of boy-girl relationship. We used to
Yes.
call that coupling.
Yeah.
Didn't you get boys coming to you like trying to vibe and do something like that?
Okay, to be honest, one of the guys I remember who first dated me when I was in high school, yeah, when he came to me, I accepted it, I won't lie. But then he was told I was living with HIV, so he left me. And inside me, I was like, I will not accept any other boy because they are going to leave.
Yes.
So even the guys who I had HIV, they could not dare risk their lives,
I know.
come to me. So basically, in all level, I did not involve myself in any relationship because, first of all, I hated myself. I knew even if he tells me he loves me, he's not meaning it.
Yeah.
Because I thought no one could ever love someone who is having HIV. So I was not involved in dating more. Okay, I think I wanted it, but I couldn't get it. Like any other girl in all level, that adolescent stage.
There's something which we talked about when we are starting, that your mom died when you were 8 months, and your dad died when you in
Primary 5.
primary 5. So that means you're born with HIV.
Yeah.
You're born with HIV.
Yes.
What was the story they told you about your dad and your mom?
Okay, my dad was married to another wife legally in church, and my mom came in. Maybe she interfered in the relationship. So I'm born outside marriage, and my stepmother has older kids than me. So my mom produced me, but she was not married to my dad. So I grew up on my mom's side. When she died, I stayed there. But then after, when I was around 4 years, they decided to take me to my father because they never wanted me to grow outside. They were capable of looking after me, but they wanted me to know my home and everything. So, but the good thing is we are in the same district, same county, maybe different sub-counties, but it is so close.
How was life at home? Because you're living in a place where you're HIV positive. You live in the same house with your siblings.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were aware that you have AIDS or they didn't. I mean,
Okay, by then they
what
didn't.
what was the life in the house where you stayed?
Okay, I'm so lucky to have the best stepmom in the world, I think.
Are you for real?
Yeah, my stepmom was really a good mother to me.
Okay.
She did everything possible for me to live. My siblings cared and loved me, but the challenge was after like some time before my dad died, my grandparents on my dad's side decided I should go stay with them because they were not sure if my mom treated me well. I used to tell them it's really good, but they were not so certain that it's really good. But then it was so difficult at my grandma's place compared to my mom's place. Because
where was the challenge?
the challenge was these people thought maybe giving someone water to tell and giving her transport to go to the hospital is all enough, is all a child needs. But okay, to me it's like they didn't know how to support me. Yeah, because for them, whenever they could go to watch news at 7, they could tell me, Esther, you go and take medicine.
For them, they watch news.
Yeah.
For you, go and take medicine.
Yeah, so I never used to take it because no one could see me even if I take or not. So I could reach in my bedroom, take water. And then they used to protect other children more. Like, yeah, they used to protect them, like, oh, you're not supposed to do this, maybe let her do, because I used to sleep in my own bedroom and some people shared a bedroom 3. So I thought maybe they were protecting them. And then the way someone talks, the way they be talking to others and the way they talk to you, okay, I really saw it, and it's like they were not really like they never took me to be part of them.
Yeah, I know.
They took me to be different from others. But then when life moved on and I went back to my stepmom, life moved on because for my mom, we were all children. And she really loved me because she used to come to school to see me every weekend. Like, she was really good.
Okay, let's talk about you're done with Form 4. Did you continue with school to Form 5 or you stopped there?
Okay, I wanted to join a nursing school after Form 4. But then you know how you be at home, and my elder sisters were all laughing at me. They're like, you're not going to go to A-level to study general paper. And I was asking myself, what is general paper? So, because they've all gone through that, I was like, you know what, you cannot really be separate from others. You can also go try and join A level and see. So I changed my mind. At last I told my mom I wanted to go for A level.
For A level.
So I changed because at that time it was not my mom who paid my tuition. And my grandfather, we had a lot of differences in our family and a lot of issues. So they were also not supporting me at that time. So, but I got someone to help me pay for my Form 5. So I was like, yeah, I'm like, at least let me join and see where God is taking me. I went to A level, but the good thing with A level is that by the time I went to A level, I had already taken a decision. Because I knew HIV was not going anywhere, but I wanted to move on with my life, my career. I had decided to go to school and study. Whether they talk or not, I will not mind.
Study.
Yeah, so when I reached that school, I never disclosed.
You kept quiet?
I kept quiet.
Yes.
But then some of my few friends went into my case and they found out.
The medicine?
The medicine.
Yes.
So they never told me, but then the good thing is they protected me. They protected anyone else outside to check into my case.
Yeah.
So I never used to lock my case, but they started locking it. I didn't know why.
Yeah.
Until I think we had came for a conference at Hotel Africana, and it was called 1990, making 1990 a reality. So I went back putting on that T-shirt, and it had children and HIV. So they told me, you cannot put on this T-shirt. I was like, why? People will find out you have HIV. I'm like, how did you know? And they
checked your
they told us so to mumanye.
End up taking that.
But the good thing is people never took it serious. So they could call me Owataso in girls' dormitories, but in school, no one talked about it.
For the 2 years?
It was 1 year Form 6. I only changed on Form 6.
Form 6.
Because people thought if you're living with HIV, you can't talk about it. And then because I changed the school and I was this other serious person, I never had friends, so I never had anyone to share with my case. So that's why I think it was a bit easier for me. People knew, but actually when they saw me on TV recently, they're like, you mean you girl, you were serious? Because by then, they thought it was really a lie. Okay, it's not me who said it, someone said it in the background.
Okay,
but it helped me.
Let's talk about life at that school that you had joined. Didn't you get guys who were coming to vibe and do something like that? Because coupling and relationships in high school are so many. How was the situation like when you joined?
Okay, I think people are not going to take that I'm so proud, but when I was in Form 6, I never felt like dating at school. To me, it never made sense because...
You were busy with books?
Not being busy with books, but you know, these are high schoolers. I'm also a high schooler, and like there is nothing big. There is nothing I'm going to benefit from a guy, so...
So you moved on with life?
I moved on with life. Maybe when I was in Form 5, I got a boyfriend, but we are not in the same school. Anyway, by that time, I could not disclose my status, to be honest.
So the guy was not, your boyfriend was not aware that you have HIV?
No.
Did you continue with the relationship or you?
Okay, we separated because of different reasons, not my status.
No, not your status.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about you. Positive.
Okay, after I joined the campus, things changed because, you know, no one cares about you, no one knows. So I was just there in my life. But then whenever I could talk to other adults or other people, my friends, whom I left at the hospital, they could tell me a lot of different challenges. Girls, I'm not doing this for myself. I'm not doing it for my family. I'm doing it for my friends because they really needed to see someone who would inspire them. They had lost hope. So because they used to tell me when I was still at the hospital that I also want to go to campus, and me already had reached campus. But because they had a lot of challenges, I thought if I come out as a queen, at least when I talk, they would listen. Because they used to tell me, you know what, to pass through the same things. It is so hard. You know, you also passed through this, but when I showed them that they could come out, at least they could listen to me. So I decided, I remember auditions were in Kasese district. So I went from Kampala to Kasese. I contested. I was the first runners up. So funny. I never expected to win. So I thought of giving up, but then pictures had already moved. So people said that's enough. Like, I will not give up on this stage. Let me go on. But because, you know, there are these 4 queens from all over Uganda, and we are first runners up. So I was like, let me do my best, and that's all I did. I did what I could, and it was so good that I won.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Esther yakulira abaana abamiss babalina abaliving n'obulwadde obwa HIV akyalina emboozi nnene gyakyagenda mu maaso okubanga tera atunyumiza naye gwali eyo oyigamu ki omuntu wabanga alina akawuka akaleeta HIV akaleeta AIDS tomusosola mutwale ng'omuntu beera naye mwagale because abaseera ebisinga abamu it is not their own making abasinga bufunyi because of bazadde n'ensonga endala ez'enjawulo ngeri bafuna mu bulwadde so tukyalina Esther nga atubuulira embeera ng'amaze okulangira nti ali HIV positive ebadde etya tuuka wano waali kubanga ate era yabakulira bonna bamisses yakulira bonna aba white glass oba bonna abaliving n'obulwadde obwa HIV mu Uganda emikwano nga giri gityawo katugende ku mikwano
first of all challenge okay it's not a challenge I appreciated it at my campus of my classmates. We were all surprised to see news, to watch news, and maybe to see it on my status. Like maybe you are lying, maybe you wanted money. So I had to first prove to friends at campus and those who saw me. But the good thing is everyone appreciated it. Like it's really, we know some people in this class they are all on medication but they can't come out. So they took me to be an example to them. Like, and the good thing is I started receiving more people at my campus telling me, oh, I like you, but you know, perhaps we can't come out. And of course, I keep that as a secret because that's what confidentiality is key in friendship. And these are, okay, when it comes to my friends, former friends in high school, they are all surprised, most of them who didn't know. But the good thing is, everyone that comes to me, they come in and they come appreciating. You've really done a good work, like you are so brave, it's not easy for someone to do it. And you know, such messages keep me moving, keep me going. However, there are some challenges, but it's of a big advantage to me.
Now, where are those challenges, basically, after you coming out? Where are the challenges?
Okay, I think first of all, maybe first family. They couldn't expect it, and they never wanted such news to leak outside.
They wanted it to be so confidential.
Because if I come out and I was born with HIV, probably people who know my mother will know she was born with it. She also had HIV. So I think maybe part of that confidentiality at home, but I was doing this for other people, not for my family, because I think I'm the only person living with HIV in my family. So for them, this may not benefit them, but it benefits someone else.
So let's talk about ever since you joined campus. Did you get boys? Let's talk about that because it is key and people need to know.
Okay. As that time, I think from my form 6 back, I had a guy, but you know how you big later because you're living with HIV and this person is not knowing. So I loved him, to be honest, and I think our relationship was moving on until when I disclosed and told him, you know what, I'm living with HIV. So I told him I'll give you time to think about it. If you think we can stay, we are going to move on and I'm going to respect your decision. So after like 1 week, he told me he can't move on with me because he doesn't see himself how we do in 3 days. Because he may be
Can you repeat that statement? He doesn't do what?
He doesn't want to see himself how we do.
How we do?
How we do, like he thought I was going to die, so can't marry. And he told me, what if he marries me and these kids are also living with him? So all he thought was like children and life after it was going to be so hard. Okay, I can't blame him because even if I was the one, I would think like that.
I know.
But then life moved on. You know, it hurts. They say it hurts, but it heals and you move on. So it healed and I moved on with life. So basically, I told myself I'm going to first put a break on relationships and maybe first focus on what I want, because most of the guys I could get at that time, I don't know, I was not so desperate, but I used to disclose quickly and people used to leave me quickly.
Faster.
It's like, this is a game, so I never wanted to go on with such games. As the game first hold on, maybe I'll get someone who will respect my
status.
Yeah, understand who I am and maybe he's ready to move on with me. So that's why I first posed it.
Okay, let's talk about ever since you became a beauty queen. What initiatives have you put in place to make sure that people living with HIV, people who are positive, the way people are treating them is stopping, and what projects have you put in place?
Okay, basically my work is more in Western Uganda because that's where I grew up from and that's where I've been working for a long time. And we've been moving on with area meetings, we call them psychosocial support groups. So in psychosocial support groups, we're having a group of people, we are mentoring them, but we always meet maybe once in a month or twice, it depends on our schedule. So you'll be meeting them at the facility, those who are living with HIV, but on a schedule, like this weekend I'm going to meet a group of 30, next weekend a group of 20, next weekend a group of 10, something like that, because they all have different issues. So basically I support psychosocial groups in most of the facilities in Western Uganda, not in one district because I move in Mbara, Kabashambo, most of them.
Okay, let's talk about life where you stay. Stigma with people around you at campus and all that.
Okay, to me it is a bit good because even currently where I am right now, that didn't take me like more days to tell people that I'm living with HIV because I was shooting a video to put on my page and I asked them, what are you doing? Because I did it at home and around my home. I'm like, I'm just shooting a video, like, how can you do that in front of us? Don't you feel? I'm like, no. So, because I met a counselor whom I had met some time back, and he's like, hey girl, what are you doing here? I'm like, I just want to shoot a video and post it on my page. So me, whether people know or not, I don't care. Anyway, some people don't support it. I'm like, I need to keep this as a secret. But then to me, I take it of an advantage because when I come out like that, someone is inspired. Because I've seen many people around this place who are taking medicine, but their husbands don't know.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And when
the wife is taking medicine, yes. The husband is not aware. So, because they saw me shooting a video, one of them came and told me, I'm like, hey God inspired me to tell you this as a secret. But, it feels good. That's why in most cases, I love it I show people who I am because many people need help but they don't know whom to go to. But when you come out like that, at least there is that one person who is going to get that time and come to you and tell you, you know what, this is my problem and I think you can help me. Okay, the situation where we are today, we are living in quarantine, the lockdown. There's been a lot of challenges for people who are living with HIV, especially accessing their medicine. What initiatives have you put in place?
First of all, I don't work alone. I have fellow ambassadors, those who won the beauty contest, other many people, those who've been there before. Okay, countrywide we have ambassadors. First of all, our ambassadors deliver medicine to the people. So they go to the hospital, get files, refill and get medicine taken to the people. And then me personally, because I am in a community which I've not been working in, that means I don't know more people around and I'm limited to move. But I am linked to very many countrywide. So I receive phone calls, I receive messages. What I post on Facebook, people reply in my inbox and tell me, you know what, I'm living in Soroti, but I want medicine. And then my role now is to link them to people who can support them. So I have to make sure that I'm on, and when someone calls me and tells me, because I've received people from, I had it, so when I can repeat this, I've never been there, but because of what I posted on my Facebook page, he went into my inbox and told me I'm also living with HIV, but I can't access medicine. So I had to make phone calls around people and ask who knows anyone from Nakaperepeti, and until we found one and linked that too, and that girl received medicine. So that's what we as ambassadors are doing right now. We make sure whether you are in northern Uganda or southern Uganda, we make sure when you come to us, I may not be the one to help you, but I link you to someone who is capable, because at least we have links. We have ambassadors all over Uganda, ambassadors. We have area ambassadors in Western Uganda, everywhere, in every district. So I just make a phone call and tell them, you know what, we need someone from this hospital in this district, and we need that medicine to be delivered in this village. So those people go make it, because for ambassadors, they're not allowed to move with borders or vehicles, but they've got bikes. So they use their bikes, they ride, go to the hospital, get medicine, and take it to the people. So those are the engagements we are doing right now as ambassadors. However, we are trying all it means to put out our voices. We wrote a letter, we signed
they are watching
it.
you, tell them. They are watching you.
Yeah. So we want at least young people to be, okay, not young people, but all people. But since our president has said let's continue another 21 days, that means still in this period, there are some people who are supposed to go back to the hospital. And that means they have to allow us at least to deliver that medicine, not allow people to use borders and reach the facilities.
What is your goal at the end of this? Being what are your future prospects? Apart from the stigmatizing and all that, what is your plan and what is your target?
Okay, one of my targets is to make sure that people living with HIV accept it. You know, it's so hard for people to accept it.
Yeah.
I want them to accept it in a way that someone is free to tell that I'm living with HIV. Not to come on TV or on radio or public and say it, but at least you be so brave enough to tell maybe your partner, your boyfriend or your husband, so that at least we can minimize on new infections. Because you know, you can fight what you know, but you can't fight what you don't know.
Yeah.
Because if you meet me on the way right now and you didn't know I was Miss 5+,
when you don't have this and this,
you will never tell that I'm living with HIV.
Yeah.
So I can decide to do anything and not tell you. So at least if they come out and accept it and be able to disclose to people who are supposed to be disclosed to, we can reduce HIV infection. So that is one of the things I'm working hard to empower people living with HIV to freely accept their status and be productive. You know, we've been seen as people who are vulnerable.
Yeah.
We've been put in that class.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to see people see us as productive people. Like, they see us as young people who can make a change, young people who can do something. We've got everybody have studied, the doctors, the engineers, but we are still put in that vulnerable category. So I just want to see the world see us as people who are so productive, not other vulnerable people.
Okay, as we try to wind up our interview today, someone is watching TV, is watching us today, and someone may want to have contact with you. How do people connect with you?
Okay, they connect with me on my social media platforms in Instagram, because I'm not going to give out my phone number because most people call with many intentions.
Yeah.
But for someone to reach out to you on internet or on social media, they'll be having a clear reason why. So I use my names on both pages, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Esther
Kabashambo. It's Kabasambo. Okay, it's written in Victoria, where they'll pronounce it in Nyanko.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So you just tap Kabashambo. I think I'm the only one. There is my picture. And anyway, you see my post and know that this is the right person I'm talking about. I want to. Yeah.
Okay. Before we go, are there chances of reducing the spread of this disease in Uganda?
HIV?
Yes. If they are there, where are they?
Okay, there are more. It all depends on what we people are up to, because there is what we call prevention measures. Even if you get raped, you can go and get medicine to help you prevent HIV. But then it's because people don't take it serious. But people advise them to use condoms, like they are given out free of charge.
Yeah.
Free of charge. And maybe we tell people to disclose. It's one of the measures that can do it better, because if I tell you that, you know what, I'm living with HIV and you accept it, we can both go to the hospital and we see how they can help us. We see the measures they can give us. And then for people living with HIV, I always encourage them to take medicine, because we have what we call unsuppressed, because are transmittable. Like, if you've really taken your medicine very well and and the virus has suppressed, then you cannot, and if you've suppressed and you're undetectable, they cannot detect the virus in your body. That means you cannot spread HIV. So that's why we say U equals U, undetectable equals untransmittable. So if you're living with HIV, you have to take medicine to suppress it, so that even if you engage with your husband or your girlfriend,
it's not detectable.
You cannot infect. Yeah. So then we always tell people like to always go and test, after a period of time, test and see what maybe you're not sure. Though you've not slept with anyone, but just for protective measures, you want to find out. So it's better you go and test and you be ready to accept the results that come out. So, and what I encourage people is stop listening to what other people say. You should get the right information from the right people. Someone is telling you, I'm going to pray for you and you get healed. You've never been infected with HIV. He doesn't even know what it means. So I always encourage people to learn how to talk to people who know the right information. Like, go to the hospital, talk to a counselor, because these are people who've been trained for that job or for that purpose. So talk to people who can really help you with the right information.
Do you have plans of getting married in the future and have babies?
Probably. That's obvious, yeah. I want a family, I'm not going to be married.
What kind of a family would you wish to have?
A husband and babies, many as I can.
How many?
Very many. I won't limit.
You won't limit? Okay, thank you so much, Esther. It was a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you so much. Okay, oyo bamuyita Esther. She's yakulira abaana abavubuka abalivinga na kawuka aka AIDS. So I think wali eyo oyise mkwalina 5 minutes of how you can disclose ate Gwatalina abalina tubasosola because betubanga tunazimba Uganda etweyagaza okubanga fenna tuli wamu tegeera waliwo abantu Esther bagambye nti babatwalanga ba vulnerable poor abantu abali vulnerable, so it's not good. Basobola bakola ebintu. She's studying, she's at campus, she's going to be employed, she's empowering young girls. So stop the kuba stigmatizing basobola okubanga tena babeera n'obulamu bulungi obweyagaza. So thank you so much for watching. If you're watching on our YouTube, make sure that you subscribe. Go